Okay, so April 5th, glasses on my eyes, glasses on my head. April 5th of 2024, the eye doctor, was very diplomatic when I told him, oh, thank you, Andre, thank you very much. He suggested 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day. This is my second cup. I like to drink them back to back. I told Andre I can have 1 tonight, but only 1. I'll try and get down to 3 cups. We'll see. Because some days, I don't know. I don't even stop to think about how many cups of coffee I can suck back with 2 heaping teaspoons or more of sugar. And I've been saying it for years. I've been drinking a lot of sugar. Anyway, I just thought I'd do something different here with another different kind of video in regards to why I keep stuff like this even now with more urgency than, say, back in the day before Amari came, because with Amari special needs requires padding. You don't know where the padding is going to be needed until, I guess, Amari meets those milestones, or, in this situation, do you see these? These are they call them, I call them ankle bracelets. They call them something else. And what it does, this is the right foot, right? What it does is, okay, so Amari is like this. Okay? So the leg goes in, instead of being straight, his foot's like this. Do you see? Okay? And it just gets tighter and tighter, and then when he moves, what happens is the left foot goes flying over. So he ends up becoming crossed. They call it cross-legged. Okay. And then it never did help him with his bowedness. I think Amari is kind of naturally bowed up in the knee area. You know how some people have naturally bowed legs? Tisha's dad is very bowed leg. But he's a kickboxer. So it never bothered him. He can do the splits and everything. And that's from a bowed leg man. So, but just all in all, this little thing never really helped to straighten out his leg, because even his leg itself turns, right? But with right. So that's the purpose, is to try and hold that straight versus going like this. And it only goes so up high so far, right? Well, a couple months back, whatever it was, he was wearing these things, and off and on since we got them when he was little. They adjust the size as he grows, and he had them on for quite a long time, right? And oh my Lord, I just had a pair of old rusty scissors that I'm going to use. I'm going to attempt to use them. I'm going to refinish these scissors. I'm going to restore them. No. Well, here, give me those just in case. Thanks. Okay. You gotta love these kind of scissors. These are nice scissors. But obviously, one of my kids threw them outside at one point in the past.
I could probably clean those up.
Yes, they have to be sanded down first, and then I bought 3 different kinds of scissor sharpeners that you can sharpen them with, and I can almost guarantee you'll make these things almost like brand new by the time you're done, because the metal itself is quality metal. And if you can see the scissor, it's an old school scissor. It's one of those ones that are kind of like those old school appliances that just...
also bent.
Well,
the scissor.
Well, then you can take you can either hammer that out. That's easy enough to hammer with a mallet. And I've got these little metal things that you can put down and just boom, right? Or you can, I would hammer that out. He's correct. I don't see it very well, but there is a bit of a bow because somebody probably was wedging something out. That shows you how good this metal is. Okay? But that's easy enough to hammer out. You just hammer out One, I have metal things, a metal plate with metal weights that you could put that on the metal plate with the metal weights, and they're like big and heavy, right? Different shapes, sizes, whatever. Put that on top of that. And then whack it a few times. That would probably help, just because you don't need to do it a lot. Right? Versus just putting it on something and hammering it out. I think it would be better to put distribute the weight on it. Just to, take the little bit of the bow out of it, right? Sand them down. I got 3 different types of knife and scissor sharpeners that I bought. They're sitting in a container. Haven't even opened the boxes yet, right? Because, you want to look after stuff like this. And I got a lot of sewing scissors that need to be sharpened and just whatever, right? And then oil them down a little bit after the fact of sanding them down, straightening them out, sharpening them. Yeah, you're going to have a nice pair of scissors. So anyway, so my doctor, I'll go back to my eye doctor here in a minute, right now, for a minute. He's a lot more optimistic than I am, but then he would be, as part of his job. In terms of, because I said, well, how long do you think I got left? Seriously, like, just cut to the chase. Oh, well, I'm like, well, you're giving me more time than I'm giving myself here, so, but I don't know. And I told him I miss my old cataract and I want it back, and that he basically made a mistake by doing what he did and then just telling me to rely on freaking dollar store glasses to compensate for my lack of vision in regards to the short-term vision, now that I don't have a freaking choice, because I don't. Can't get my old cataract back, right? And then in regards to changing the lens, he said if we went with the better lens, just because of the way my eyes are, I'd start getting halos and all kinds of crazy shit going on in my eyes. And he said it's not worth the risk. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's the last thing I want, is a whole bunch of halos, or, just whatever, right? I guess because of the way, with the lack of full vision, with the limited light spectrums, it could pose a real problem, so I'm stuck with this thing. So then he offered to give me back part of the money that I paid for this eye in terms of his fee, but not what the government charged me. So I think he's giving me back $125, and he told me to go buy myself a new pair of glasses. That's basically why he did it, because I said, no, it's not, I'm not complaining because of that, because I paid you. I didn't pay you, I just paid, right? Some of it the majority of it went to the government, and I think 125 went to him for whatever reason, to get the better secondary lens, right? And I guess he's feeling, I don't know, he's feeling something, enough so that, I said, no, I'm not asking you to give me back my money. I'm asking you to change the lens and give me a better fighting chance. And he said, yeah, but at the end of the day, it probably won't work, and you'll just get a whole lot of halos. And he listed something else, like spots or something else that can manifest from that situation. Okay. Is the burner off?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, yeah. And then he offered to send me to somebody else for a second opinion on that. And I'm like, no, it's not that I don't, mistrust your experience, like, and you're right. Like, I'm not in the mood to be, I don't even like going to doctors and shit like that, right? So as if I want to go run to another doctor to hear the same thing, I don't, right? So anyway, I guess I should go in at some point and see if I can get a couple of different pairs of glasses that can alleviate maybe the eye strain, because I really strain my eyes a lot, right? And they are getting worse. That's why I say, like, how long do you think? I don't know if he's thinking to the last moment where it's just, I'm on nothing left but a spare wheel that's half a wheel already by that time, you know, or I don't know what he's thinking, because he truly doesn't know. He couldn't know. He can only assume. And so that's what's going on with the eye doctor. And then, of course, we're going to book in the Roto-Rooter, but we're not going to change the cataract lens, which is probably the better decision, considering all things said. Yeah. Which puts me at a slightly higher risk for eye infection and complications and all this other crap, because he's doing this with the original cataract lens in it, although he's an experienced surgeon, so he feels confident that he can do it. It's just a little more difficult without the cataract. I mean, with the cataract in. Easier to take out the cataract, do it, put a new cataract in, versus doing it and leaving the original cataract. But he's an experienced surgeon, so, I mean, what you gonna do? Otherwise, the pressure in this eye won't go down, and even then, people, something's going on. It never goes down. I told you there's gonna come a day I'm gonna lose this eye completely. I do believe that. Or it's forever gonna be a forever spare wheel. Two choices. It's either gonna go blink and be gone completely, or it's gonna be a forever spare wheel. A forever spare wheel. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's talk about this, because that's why I turned on this camera. I know it doesn't seem like much. Like, who would want this? It came off of Tisha's, well, is that Tisha's mattress? Yeah, Tisha's mattress. Came off of Tisha's mattress. Remember? I was in the garage. I washed it. Everything's good with it. I'm going to use a little piece of it because I think it's perfect for what I need right now, because what happened with these ankle bracelets, right? He had them both on. He had them on for about 6 hours because they, you know, want them on for as long as you can have them on, right? And everything was honky-dory, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he started to whimper, blah, 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 blah. And then he kind of was crying and, you know, and right, took this off, and he was, you know, because something was hurting him. I thought it was his ankle. I thought it was his ankle, right? Because of being in this for so long, and maybe because this is hard, right? You can hear it. I thought maybe something in here was rubbing, maybe, you know, in here on his foot, and it bruised his ankle. That's what I was thinking, right? So, you know, trying to, you know, give him time to heal, like as if it was a twisted ankle, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, you know, he'd never really seemed to get back to his normal self, right? So, you know, I said, Tisha, maybe take him to the hospital. She offered to take him earlier, but I mean, how could he possibly injure his leg in this thing? Realistically, right? Outside of maybe, you know, because he, you know, he's sitting up with these things on too, right? He sits up with these things on when both, he's still flipping himself over, moving around, doing whatever Amari does. So, you know, with the, okay, you're like this, right? And I mean, it's pulling in here, even with it on, right? And he's sitting and doing whatever. So obviously, you know, he's moving in here, right? So he maybe hurt himself. Long story short, we figured it out. He had these on. He was moving around. And because his leg swings, the left leg is strong. Everything on the left side of his body is strong. Right? So he swung his leg over with the other thing. Can I get this other thing? Other leg brace, please? Ankle bracelet. Thank you.
He got the drink on for a little bit.
Did he drink it?
Yeah. The cap came off, though.
Well,
I'm wiping it up.
Pay attention to what's going on there in terms of the nipple.
When
And
I came back.
maybe the nipple's no good.
No, the cap.
You didn't screw it on hard enough. Or maybe it was the wrong kind of cap. Because sometimes some of these caps are specific for other bottles. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. You're doing a good job. Just clean it up.
It up, okay?
Yeah, well, at some point it should be wiped up with a clean, wet rag, so I'll give you one.
Okay.
And a little bit of water. Okay, so he's got these things on. Okay? He's got these things on. That's no good. I don't know what kind of eyeglasses an eye optometrist would give me, considering how often I flip glasses around. I told him that's all I do all day long, right? It's like fucked. Okay, I don't know if I can, well, yeah. All right, we'll work with these ones. These are my computer glasses, okay? All right, so I can kind of see, right? The idea is to keep his foot with the ankle like that, okay? More than anything, when it comes up to this height. Even though this is like this, up to this height, it doesn't prevent him from bowing, though, on this joint of the leg. So he's always been a little bow-legged. Because of his situation, that's what happens. As this one tightens, as the foot tightens, it curls more and more and more. Okay? So we're curling, right? So we're curling. As this one likes to fling itself over, then he moves, then he uses his left hand to pull, and then this all gets all gimped up, whatever, and then before you know it, he's on the other side of the couch, half hanging off, throwing pillows around, because that's what he does now. Or grabbing whatever he can off the floor. Okay, as if I don't got enough problems. Uh-huh. Right? And I'm like, holy crap, Amari. You know? Where did you get that pillow from, Amari? It was over there. Okay. Thank God it's just a pillow. Now you know why I want heavy bean bags one day. Because he won't be able to pick it up and toss it. He'll be able to grab onto it. You could put handles on it where he could grab onto it and pull himself towards it. That's an idea. Okay, I'm so frustrated. Here we go. Alright. So anyway, this is supposed to keep it like this, but inside the brace, his body is still making it go like this, which is rubbing on the ankle. As he's using this leg to flip himself over so that he can continue to move how he moves, without squawking, without pain. He does it in such a way that you don't even know he's done it. You think he's where you left him, and he's right on the other side of the couch, like you don't even know. All right. Well, he did this in such a manner. Okay. You see this part in here? That's where the tibia is. And if you've knocked your tibia, you know it freaking hurts for months and months and months. It can take up to 2 to 3 months to heal a tibia if you knock it really good. Okay? Because I've knocked mine. Done a lot of yard work in this yard, people. Just saying. And I've knocked my tibia more than once over the years. Can't blame it just on the yard. Alright. So, whack. Did you see what I did? Whack. He injured his tibia to the point where I guess it got fractured. Because, you know, left it for a while thinking it was this part that was this part from the rubbing of this. Because, you know, he's been wearing these for years, right, people? So, you know, how would you know? Right? And then I just, you know, said, it hasn't changed, so he's still squawking, so take him to the hospital. And that's what Tisha did. And it turned out it was fractured. It wasn't broken, it was fractured. So they put a cast on him. But when they put the cast on him, they had it like this. And when, I asked Tisha, I said, well, why did they do that? Why? They had the perfect opportunity to put the cast on like this, but instead they put it like this. Oh my God. So she said, well, because, when they were doing it, they asked, his foot kind of goes like this, what should we do? And she said, well, just make it so it's not completely straight, because that's the way he moves, right? But the thing is, before that happened, I could straighten out his ankle, right? Because, I do little exercises with him, or whatever, right? And it was fine. I don't know. He seems to be very sensitive at this point right now, even though he's got the cast off, that something is still bothering him now. Keep in mind, though, he moves like all day long, and like, I'm gonna give him a massage later with magnesium oil. I bought it, and we're gonna use this because it's recommended that I use this, and I at this point tend to agree, although I'm kind of very nervous to use these things because I know exactly what happened. And anyone that I've talked to, like with the physiotherapists or whoever about this subject, I said, have you ever known a kid to do this? And then basically break their tibia because it was unprotected. Right? She said, no. And I said, okay, it's just like when he had those things on, those those spread eagle things. They gave me those spread eagle things. It didn't even last a week. He broke them. And when next time we went back, I said, here, you can have them back. I'm not using them. Didn't like them anyway. Right? So, but, he needs, I don't know. He needs a little more time to, because he's not wanting, when your foot is like, when your leg is straight and then you bend, right? He wants to keep it like this all the time. And he doesn't want me to straighten out his leg, right? He doesn't want me to straighten out his leg. He wants to keep it like this. This is the way he wants to keep it. And I'm like, trying to, and he, right, something's still bothering him. But if you ankle, what it does is it makes things move up in here. So, but I want to protect the tibia, this part that's in the brace, knowing what I know now. Right? So, I'm glad I saved this. Do I need all this for this little thing? Hell no. But there's other things that I need to do when it comes to padding. I'll show you another area where he is. I have to pad a corner where there's a sharp corner from the wall unit, and because he's getting bigger, and he does do that sometimes when he's sitting up, or whatever, he'll just fall over, right? And the bigger he gets, the closer he gets to that corner. So I'm like already in my mind, bring up that foam from the front mattress. I got it down the hall there. I don't know, I'm gonna Mickey Mouse something together. I don't know how to do it, right? Because gray tape only lasts for so long. So I can cover up that corner. And as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, this might, there's a lot of this shit and it's just unrolling. This isn't thick enough. This isn't thick enough. When it comes to the head, it's not thick enough. But, I don't know, maybe I can make because it already has a ribbing on it. It already has a ribbing. I'll show you what ribbing means. It already has ribbing on it. So maybe I can, Okay. I'm trying to find the freaking ends on this bloody thing. Oh, maybe there is no end on it. That's why I'm having such a hard time on this. You know, when you cut in half and you have two ends, I don't got an end on this. This is the whole circumference of the mattress. And so I have to cut it. Alright. I can't see the seam, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. So let's see how well these scissors work. I'm going to try these rusty ones first. I'm curious to see how sharp they are, which they're not. Okay, they need to be sharpened. Andre gave me some scissors. We'll try these ones. It's not like the good old days, people, that's for sure. Oh, these are no good. These are worse. Those are worse. There's something hard in here. Here we go. Come on. There's something hard in here. I don't know. I need a different pair of scissors. None of these ones are working. I have to just get past the ribbing. I'll show you. It feels like there's something in the ribbing itself. It doesn't want to cut. Now, mind you, I got crappy scissors going on here. Here's another different pair. There we go. Okay. Just a bag of nerves. Yeah. All right. Now we have an end. Let me see. Oh, that light bulb. There's no light bulb there. These are my computer glasses, so I don't normally use... I can't see between the camera and just whatever. Whatever. See? I put down those other glasses and I already don't know where they are. That's how easy it is for me to lose glasses. I can see this, but I can't see very well. Alright, so what we want, okay, so this is ribbing, right? It's already been ribboned, so I don't have to worry about that. What I gotta worry about is protecting the tibia. So, and perhaps even the ankle knuckle from him sitting and wanting to do. That's rubbing, right? Which irritates. So when you move, try and straighten it, right? It's gonna, right? Right. So I'm not only am I working against his body wanting to do this, I'm working against these things, trying to prevent that from happening. Right? So you got to find a happy balance in there somehow, some way. And being that this is not padded, and socks aren't enough, we have to build in some padding, and that's what I'm going to use this for. And I'm glad I have it. Do I need all this just for that? No, obviously not. But if I didn't have all of that, I wouldn't be able to do this. I suppose I could use something else, but why should I when I've already got it here? I just have to figure out how to, you know, I need to get to my sewing machine, which is going to be almost impossible to do at this point. and just sew on a couple of Velcro straps, you know, sew this down, put binding on this. It's called binding or piping, right? Right, a little piping, you know, on just like how it's on this side. Do it on this side, and then a couple of little Velcro straps, and yeah, you're good to go. And then put that on first, and it's not too thick, and it's breathable. I would think it's breathable, because you have to remember, things, you know, when you start wrapping your body, you got to make sure the body can breathe. The air, you know, right? So, and ideally, it would be nice if I could honestly make a booty with it somehow. Make a booty with it so that his whole foot is bootied up with the extra little bit of padding, just to make it not so abrasive when it comes to hard plastic. I don't got time to make a booty. I can't even get to my own sewing machine. I'm too busy trying to rescue my shit right now. Like that freaking batting, the mattress batting that she threw out. I need to make freaking changing pads. The bigger he gets, the more he's going to urinate right in the middle of changing him. And where do you think that fucking urine goes? Sorry, boo-boo urine goes. It leaks down on whatever he's laying on. And yeah, you want it to absorb. And you want it easy to wash. So, alright, let's see. For such a fine, fine, fine seamstress, don't you think she could help me with this? Considering I'm struggling with it. I offered to pay her just to make me a few diaper changing pads. No, my son made sure to inform me that they had their own lives and they were busy and didn't have no time for nothing I wanted or needed or anything. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's not talk about that. Who cares? So, you get the idea. Now, you see, can't see. Can't fucking see. Look at this. This is nuts. Completely nuts. I'm trying to see in the camera lens so that I know that you can see it. And I already lost those other glasses. Go figure. Go fucking figure. Alright, let's see. Let's see if I can show this to you correctly. Alright. So, maybe I don't have to make a booty. Maybe just a couple of darts on the inside of the fabric to fit it a little more rounded in the heel. But the more you put padding in there, the tighter it becomes. But this leg is thin and weakly because, you know, whatever's going on. Same thing with the right side. Because if I put my hand in here, there's really not that much bulk. Right? And then maybe if I, oh boy, I don't know. Okay, we're designing this together. All right. So we've got the piping right here. So maybe what I need to do, because it's bulky, right? is put the piping right along in here, right? I mean, what came to mind next was I could glue gun it on after I figure out what I'm going to do here so that it's stationary. Because what would happen is the straps to the right would just go right over it. But I don't even think you know what, honestly, if I put piping, if I pipe this up, pretty sure it's called piping, on this side, for the length that I need, it would be just enough for what I need to take it, put it on the inside, and then somehow secure it, but to the point where, like I could put a little bit of Velcro here on the inside, right? A little bit of Velcro on the inside here, a little bit of Velcro on the inside here, here, right? And one there. And then on the other side of this,
I'm done.
put the Velcro to match it up. Okay, if you notice, you want that on the inside. That's called interface. Interface is very important on certain things, and it's expensive to buy. Not something you really want to throw out. Because you just, right? Alright, so we're going this way instead. Right? Because we want the soft fabric on the outside. So we got the Velcro on the inside, then we've got the Velcro on this side, and maybe we match them up, right, to hold this in place, right? And you're going to have to make a bit of ease on the heel by, once you get basically what you want to do, you're going to have to put in just a couple of small darts so that the heel fits in nice, right? And then lines up with the little Velcro. And then after you line up that, you push it in, line it up, Velcro. And then what's going to happen, you're going to have a flap, and just by the grace of God, in this case, in this situation, for what I need at this moment in time, will be enough. Do you see? I pushed everything in. We know that we got Velcro holding it in place. We've got, 5, can't see, I'd say about 4 inches. 4 inches of fabric from the base of this side right here that already has the piping on the other side with a few Velcro straps. Okay, I'm going to have, no, change of plans here. This is the thing about sewing. Alright, it's okay, we can still do it. We just want to do it right. Alright. Unless, of course, I have 2 ways that I can do it. I like the idea of what I've done so far, and then just taking that leftover fabric with a few straps on that, right? And then you just fold it over the tibia. So now, when he takes his other ankle bracelet, wherever that went to, oh, here it is, right? Okay, let's see. Where am I? Oh, we're upside down. We're all working upside down here. Okay, so that's that, right? So we folded that over. We know what's on the inside, but we know what's coming. Because Amari's that Houdini baby. I could take a chance and think that that layer of padding is enough to protect his tibia, but in light of who Amari is and what he's capable of doing and what he's done, it might be a good idea to add in just a little extra something to give that extra protection, to which I'm almost thinking a piece of leather. Honestly, I'm thinking a piece of leather. Not only is it pliable over time as he moves and, you know, and you wash and, well, can you really wash leather on a regular basis? That might not be a good idea. Okay, we're just brainstorming here. I'm going to pass on the leather because these you'd want to be able to wash, right? That's why you want to just, you know, temporarily tack them in somehow, some way with the Velcro just to keep them in place. But as they dirty and he sweats or whatever, you can wash them. So no, forget the leather, but it's going to have to be maybe double. All right, so we'll just double. We'll just stay with and work with what we got, right? So in this situation, so we know what we've done on the inside, right? We know what we're going to do on the inside. We know how we're going to secure the inside in here. We know that at this point, by the grace of God, I have enough fabric, about 4 inches, to still work with, to be able to fold it over. And then as it folds over the, right, then you've got just a couple of more of these, nothing too fancy, right? Because the more and more you get, it gets heavy. But, you know, just 1, 2, 3, it's just simple. It's just to hold it in place, because ultimately, sure, go in my coffee. Ultimately, these ones will go right over. So whatever you attach here is very minute. It's just enough for it to not, you know, slide off as he's moving, right? So just, right? But do you see how I have just enough fabric to go over what we need? The only thing is we got the interfacing, so I have to cover this part up, which is simple. You take half of this. This is about 8 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. I don't know. Yeah, that's about 8 inches. If I was to measure that, I'd say, even though I can't freaking see it, it's about 8 inches. So you take half of that, and from the underneath, as a matter of fact, you don't even need to pipe this. All you have to do, easy peasy, right? Take a nice piece of fabric, okay, and I can sew in that extra little piece for the tibia right into the product itself. So you take a piece of fabric, either or, we'll just do it this way. So we take a piece of fabric, okay, and we're just going to fold this over and pretend. We're just going to pretend, okay? But this is like this. You keep it, you want this, right? So you keep it, right? And you baste it. You baste it on, okay? With just, right? Just so that it doesn't move when you're working with it. And it's nice and flat, okay? But for now, we're going to imagine that we've got a piece of fabric. Cut this in half. We're going to imagine that we got a piece of fabric. You can clearly see the difference. So this is a different color piece of fabric. We'll just say this is nice and blue, right? And what I do is I add in an extra layer, So I take from here, I put it in here, I stitch it so you have an overtop stitch, right? And then I add in a piece of fabric from here, right? Because this part here is on the inside. Well, you know what? This is honestly, to even make it more simpler, right? You don't want this rubbing on the inside. It's not. You want to cover this up too, because this is just interface, right? So I take a piece of fabric, I flip it over this way, I give it a seam down, I flip the fabric over, I reinforce the seam, I go to the end, I curl it over, and I give it one of those. But before I finish the job, I take another piece of this, as is, with the interface and everything, okay? And I cut in half, right? I cut, right, so we double, right? And I cut in half, and I sew it down the middle 2 times, and then of course on the edge. And when the other fabric comes, fold it over, and then, yeah. So when it's in this, not only does he have the breathable, I would think, padding on the inside to take off the wear and tear of the hardness of the device, right? But it, you know, protects that part of the ankle, which he irritates, whether by wearing these or whether by just moving around on his own time. And it protects the tibia. And then, after it's all said and done, and if it works, to which I think it will, when we go back for our, you know, rendezvous with the people that work with me with Amari, in terms of just touching base, that kind of thing, because he'll outgrow these and they'll want to make new ones, then maybe what I'm doing might be something for them to consider. Because as it is right now, it's kind of hard to believe that Amari was the only one that they know of that broke his tibia or fractured it or whatever because of these things. Basically, I'm not mad. Nobody would have known that unless, you know, it's been happening a long time, right? And like it's lots of kids have it happened to, right? But as far as anyone that I've talked to about how is that possible, well, it is possible though, because these things are fucking hard. And if you hit just on the right spot, oh yeah, I can see it happening. So I'm hoping that will prevent any further injuries, because he does, he you know, he should. I don't overdo it with them, but I do like to have them on every now and then, like, you know, even if it's for a few hours, you know, some days it's more, less hours, whatever. Some days I give him freedom to just be him, but so we're looking at double the length of whatever I'm going to be working with out of all this shit that I got here. So no regrets. I think I got some more kicking around, but it's not like I can get to it. Don't ask me where it is. It's some big pile of I don't know what, and that's assuming that it's even there. So I'm happy I have this, because I brought this up and I washed it, and that's the only reason it didn't end up in the fucking garbage. Like, it's stupid. Fucking stupid. Come home with used fabric, wash it for your business, or for your boss. Keep a little for yourself, as you're throwing out my shit. Yeah, fuck you. Like, serious. And you don't even want to help me fucking sew it. And how important is this? It's pretty damn important, people. That just shows you the kind of selfishness that we've got going on in this freaking world. Seriously. It's like an infection. It's terrible. So I'm pretty happy with what I'm gonna do. But I need to do it like ASAP, which means I have to try and, as if I can clear off my sewing desk. Because that needs to be done. I'm scared to use these things. Ugh. And I can't do some of this stuff by hand. It has to be done by machine. It won't hold up. He's too active. And I don't even know how well that's going to hold up what I'm thinking. And whatever I'm thinking, if I can, and I need to do this like in the next day or 2 or 3. If I can accomplish doing this, where it actually can work, then it's just the right amount, like the right width of what I need, really. Yeah. There's so much shit in front of my sewing room, my sewing desk. And I never get a chance to get in there. Be positive, right? Just move things, ignore, just get to the sewing machine. Because I need the sewing machine for some of this. Just the simple stuff. It's just simple, right? Really simple. Eyesight's gotten worse, though, even after seeing the eye doctor. I don't care what that eye doctor says. In terms of, it's the glaucoma and nothing else. Yeah, okay. Stress doesn't make it worse. Yeah, okay. Me poking in your eyes with those machines and doing this and doing that and adding this, and that doesn't do anything. No. Yeah, okay. Sure. All right, so should I... Oh, I can't upload this onto the computer. I have to transfer files and put them onto my external hard disk drive, which is not a very good one because it didn't come formatted. So as I'm transferring files, they're not going in with all their properties. But whatever. And then, that's what's left. I decided to do the left foot as well. So I have enough there for 2 ankle bracelets. Right? We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be hard. And then if I don't use this for something else, if you can't use what I made with the next pair, when they give them another pair, then you have to make again. But the only thing is, I probably won't be able to see very much, and ain't nobody gonna fucking help me. Sorry, boo-boo, help me to make them. I know I shouldn't be thinking like, oh, you won't be able to make them, but, you know, well, like, just because you give me back $125 for that cataract that lens that just made my life miserable. He wants me to use these. He said that this is the saline. He said that whatever issues that were going on in the United States with eye infections or that brand or whatever has been resolved, not to worry about it. and that I need to use these 3 or 4 times a day, because what's happening is, and he changed, this is just a sample drop. I don't know what it is, but anyway, it's a new eye drop, because I told him, like, so he gave me a sample to see how it goes over the next month, and then said that I needed to do this a few times a day, because the eye drops dry out the eyes, obviously, right? I told him not just the eyes, but my freaking head, even though my nose is running. But besides that point, my eye looks kind of like the moon surface. And I said, what's that supposed to mean? He said, versus clear and, moist and translucent, as if you had your normal cataract in there, right? It looks like, when you're looking at a pond with no wind and it glistens, right? Well, it's supposed to be like that, but it's not. Instead, it looks like a moon with, craters in it, in terms of, well, no wonder why my vision is so blurred if that's the case. Right? If the lens is not responding correctly in my eye because of lack of moisture, because of the eye drop, and I have to compensate it with a false tear in order to prevent that puckering, right, that's going on with the cataract lens. And how does he know it's even going to freaking work? Oh, jeez. That's what I mean. I want my old cataract lens back. It was better. Anyway, maybe that's why things are getting worse. Because they're taking away too much moisture from my eyes with these eye drops. So I put the saline already once in today, but no, didn't change anything. It still feels awful and it looks awful, and so you're going like this, right? And my eyes are dry, and I was like, whatever. So, let's see if I can get to this sewing machine. I don't know. I have to do this like ASAP. It's like everything has to go on hold. As my heart's going like this. Because I don't trust what's going on downstairs. I just don't trust it. I asked my son not to move anything. I told him I'm going downstairs with the kids next week. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm not quite done yet. Before I can do anything, I have to transfer files from this computer as is, without all its properties. I don't care at this point. It'll clear up some space so I can upload on and convert it and upload it onto YouTube. Be YouTube's bitch, because I don't get nothing for it. Anyway, I've been wanting to do a little bit of sewing before I go completely blind, okay? Now, just like I'm putting Mrs. Gill first, I'm doing like an old lady. Isn't that what old ladies do? Fuck. Anyway. Just like we're putting Mrs. Gill's first. I already washed the roasting pan. It's more than one. We got Tisha coming to pick through what she wants. I asked her specifically, this cupboard, that cupboard, and the pantry. 3 areas. Take what you want. What I don't want, I'm giving to Mrs. Gill. And that's it. And whatever's left behind is left behind. If I can get one full shelf to put jars in with food that are kind of like scattered around, because I'm at my max now, Great. That's all I'm looking for. And clear off the counters a bit more, and we're getting into some cooking. We're going to be making our bean burgers, and I've got my food mill that's still sitting in the box right there, right, looking at me, saying, hurry up, right? We're going to grind up and make bean flour, wheat flour, fucking rice flour, whatever flour we want. And we're going to make those chickpea little snacks, so when I get around to making nuts and bolts, right? I came across a YouTube video where they were talking about Cheerios having some sort of ingredient for whatever purpose that is toxic to humans, especially in large quantities. And I'm like, what the heck? I just bought Cheerios. But I only bought like 2 or 3 boxes. So it's not something that we eat all the time. So in moderation, and then after that, if you can phase out the Cheerios and replace it with maybe red lentil chips, that would work. All right. But before that happens, I have to calm down, because I'm like this. Because I'm overstimulated with the pressure of having a big fucking bin show up at my house with my shit being thrown out into it. Because that's basically how it fucking feels. Yeah. So if I don't get it from one, I get it from the other. Okay, so we know I want to sew before I go completely blind, right? As I'm moving more food into my room, I'm pulling out more fabric. And this was always close by, because I want to make underpieces. At least start with that, because it's simple, right? Isn't that beautiful? This is, this stretches. This is nice. I know it's a yellow. I don't see it very well though. I'm assuming that's a pink. I'm assuming. A light pink. And I'm assuming, based on what I know that I have, and even though I haven't looked at it for years, I'm thinking this is more like a bright orange versus a browny rusty. I'm thinking this is more like a bright orange, because I probably used this once already before in the past on one of my outfits, and that's why I know. It's not because I can see it, all right? I cheat. So it's a bright orange. That's a 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch trim, bright orange, or it's a rusty brown, but I'm putting it more towards bright orange. Garbage. It's junk. I'm not entitled to have it, because I haven't used it fast enough yet. It's redundant. Well, if I had to put a color on it, I'd say it's a pink with lace. I think I see lace. Yeah. I can see the lace, and I can see the trim down the middle. The sequins. And it has a stretch. A slight stretch to it. I used to sew with this stuff like it was water. Meter after meter after meter. I'm just saying. If I had to say, I'd say it is that orange again, only this is a 1-inch strip. or maybe 3/4. That's probably a 3/4. That's not quite a 1 inch. A 1 inch is thicker than that, or it could be a 1/2 inch. The other one was a 1/4 inch. This one's probably a 1/2 inch. Okay? Not even been opened. I bought it as is. And you know, when I bought it back in the day, Sierra was alive, because I remember buying this stuff, but I got, again, busy with the house, busy with the yard. I never did get to use any of this shit. It's just been sitting in my freaking room, waiting patiently, being humble. If I had to say, it's probably another pink. And I can't read what it says here in terms of, it should be written on the package what it is. Oh, but I see how I have to change glass. Do not eat. Oh, it has one of those silica things in it. What is this? These glasses don't work really that great. Sequin single row stretch. It doesn't say. It says single row. It's not giving the width on it. $4 a meter at that time. This was bought 8 years ago, maybe. So I'm sure the cost is more than $4 a meter. Single row stretch. I'm almost curious to see. Well, see, that's the thing though. I can't see. I have to basically feel it. And go on wisdom and knowledge and experience before I rely on my eyesight. Yeah. It says single. Well, they weren't lying. That's a single. When you're working with dancer outfits, this stuff is so important to have stretch in it. So we've got the single, which is what? About like that. 1/4 of an inch. Because it's got that little stretch in it. And then we've got the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch. And then we got some more yellow. Same idea. What do they have this written down as? Sequin single row stretch. Same idea, only it's yellow. No, this is thicker. This is thicker. You're going into a 1/4 inch, pushing towards a 1/4, 1/2 inch. But it has a really good stretch on it. Look at that. Now we're going into our single strands. These are single with, well, maybe not. This one here, yeah, these are single without stretch. That's a pink. I don't know. It's either a blue or a green. You can see better than me. No stretch. These are just for trim. I'd go through these like water, depending on what I'd make. I'd say that's kind of a olive green, from what I can tell. Obviously, Christmas green. Isn't that nice? Dark green. I love it. Garbage. Probably a gold of some kind. Well, we know that's garbage for sure because it's full. If you notice, look how full that is. Unless, of course, you want it to be charitable and donate it to some fucking who knows where so that, you know, you get brownie points from wherever you're donating it to, right? You just forgot to tell them where you fucking got it from. Acted like it was yours and yours right and your right to donate it. So that people would like you and respect you for being so gracious and generous. I don't know. Maybe an orange. Yeah, it says orange. Lucky me. It says orange. As if I'll ever get a chance to sew this shit. Could be a red. I go to my eye appointment. They ask me this, they ask me that. I said, well, you know, without trying to cheat, knowing what I know, it looks like a B, right? It could be something else there, so I'd go with the higher probability of what it could be versus actually really being able to see it. Or if I know what it is, even though I can't see it clearly, but enough for me to know what it is, I'll choose the I know it's a B before I can clearly say that I seen it as a nice crisp B. When you know, when you're looking at those eye charts, I let her know I'm cheating, right? Just because I can see a B doesn't mean that I can see it as clearly as I would like it, because my mind tells me it's a fucking big capital letter B. There would be no other letter in the alphabet that would look like that outside of a B. So common sense tells you. So you can't use that as a guide to tell me that I can fucking see good when my brain is cheating. It's like touching things. You know, you can't see it, but as soon as you touch it and you feel it, and right, then you know. And once you know what to do with it because you've done it enough times. Okay. Pink. Oh, it says bright pink. That's a bright pink. I don't see it. I see a Mod Podge between red, purple, no pink. Probably like a wedding color for a wedding dress or something like that, like it's a cream, or it could be a yellow, but I can't see the yellow because my brain, again, is cheating. It's trying to compensate for the lack of eyesight. This here, it says beige. So yeah, that would make sense, which on certain parts of a wedding dress would be nice as a highlight to, or whatever. So that's a beige. Oh, look how thin that is. Oh, you know what, people? I couldn't even sew with this anymore. This is so tiny. So tiny. And these are sequins too. Look how tiny this is. Now you're getting into the tiny world. That's sequins. That is some tiny sequins. I don't even think I could sew that if I wanted to. No way. Maybe the lights would have to be blaring bright, and I'd have to have a really good freaking pair of sewing glasses on. But there's not very much of it, so it becomes garbage. Or one of those freebies to the donation bin. I mean, who would want that? Outside of a nutcase. I still want to cheat. I want to... I don't know. Clear. Transdescent. Exactly. Clear, transdescent. That's where everything starts to blend in for me. Yellows, the translucents, the silvers, the beiges. Comes a time when I can't distinguish what's what. Perhaps a baby blue, maybe? You think? It says blue. Light blue. LT blue. Nice. These are all single strands, no stretch. And I would go through them like water. Meter after meter after meter after meter when I was working on certain outfits. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't know. It's dark. It says black translucence. So it's black, but it's translucent, right? You're talking well over $1,000 worth of fucking sequins here, okay? That's basically garbage in some people's minds because they don't need it, or they don't use it, or they don't value it. Lime. And it doesn't matter if it's sequins or anything else in this house when it comes to that subject at hand. And that's the problem. I would think black. Black. Perhaps a dark purple. And the only reason I can see the color is because they're sequins and they're catching the light. So therefore the light adds a little bit to the color so that it's easier for me to distinguish what the color is. Purple. But the blinder I become, the less color I can see. Where everything becomes basically black and white. Black translucent again. So I had 2 full rows of that. Black is always a good base for when you're working with costumes. I would think that's a silver. Yep, it says silver. Perhaps a gold, maybe? Gold. Yeah, it says gold. Perhaps. So we've got this silver. And this silver, but if you notice, there are 2 different kinds of sequins. And I'll show you, if maybe you'll be able to see it. I caught it only because I like shit like this. What is this? We'll look at that in a minute. Let me put these back. This is what I want those bras for. I'm going to cover up those bras and make underpieces. Alright, so this is a single strand, no stretch sequins that's silver with the oh my lord. With the sequins I lost my other glasses. These ones might work. I'm in trouble, people. Don't be too quick to take out your original cataract, trust me. Really understand what's going on with your eyes before you do it. Okay, this one here, do you see it flat and smooth, right? Single, I don't want to open it because it's just, I don't have tape or anything to tape it back up. It's just a single flat sequence upon sequence upon sequence with no stretch. Where this one, if you look at the Same color, I'm sure, silver. But if you look at the sequins, it's, you know, like a little flower, right? And then it's like a petal. It's like this, versus being flat. This one's like this. It's curled. Versus being flat, like the other one. This one's a little curled. You should be able to see the difference between the two sequins. Which obviously gives, you know, captures the light differently, right? Yeah, they call this one cup sequence. It's written right there. I mean, or this one's just flat. But neither has stretch. Because this is just sequins trim. And what is it? Is it silver? Silver. What else is in here? Now, that is just a fraction of what I have. I can get to this shit. I got a fucking trunk in my bedroom that I've had since 1995 with a whole lot of sequins in there. Yeah. But they're old. 1995. Oh, God forbid. Throw it out in the fucking trash. It's garbage. Yeah, okay. Oh, my Lord. So we got red beads, a little brown beige bead on top. This is lovely. Look how nice that is. Look how nice that is. You've got enough here to make a beautiful little outfit with for a little belly dancer. What do you think? I would think so. Frickin' right. Yeah, you think so, Amari? You like belly dancers? Yeah, lots of people like belly dancers.
I don't know what a belly dancer is.
Look up belly dancers on YouTube. You'll see lots of belly dancers. It's very hard to be a belly dancer. It's an art. Yeah. I'll make a belly dancer outfit with that one. And then we've got a little bit of, again, yellow, I think. Single sequence. And something here. Something's in here. Let's see what's in here. What can we make with this? It seems to be a fair amount of it. It looks like it has, it's black, it's a trim, right? With, money! You got money on it! Trim with money! Look at that. Yeah, fucking see, man. And lots of it. You could do another belly dancer with this. Why not? Yeah. I have everything. Everything you could possibly want to make 2 belly dancer outfits. I'm trying to get Tisha to go to the bar, to go see the girls for me. Yeah. I said, you and Alex need to go out. She asked about taking Alex. I said, yeah, take Alex. He's bait. Dancers, you know, they'll be coming by just to say, hi. I said, I don't know if you can handle that, Tisha. You might get jealous. Oh, no, I won't. She probably wouldn't. There's a lot. Look at this. More than enough for a belly dancer outfit. But only in my mind. Is my heart's going like this. This is why it's important that that fabric downstairs doesn't go missing. I don't care if it's meant for Amari and leg braces or padding up something or perhaps possibly making freaking bean bags at some point in the future, or if it's for something like this that I need to get a certain color of a certain kind of fabric to be able to work with a certain kind of fucking sequins here. Sorry, boo-boo sequins. If all I worked with was straight, no stretch sequins and just that was it, then yeah, maybe I could understand not needing the things that I have when it comes to the types of fabrics that I have that don't necessarily suit your freaking needs because you're on a different fucking sewing table than I am. Two different people sew two different things. Don't say that mine is worthless and useless when you couldn't even get up to speed with me. I'd like to see you run fucking 7 meters of fucking sequins around a costume that you made. And I'm talking working the sewing machine like a workhorse. I used to work my sewing machines hard. And when you're sewing sequins, what do you think happens? Oh, sometimes needles just snap and go flying. Or they get stuck in the sewing machine. All of a sudden you're sewing. Whoosh, just keep on going. I don't like when the needles snap though, because that can be dangerous sometimes. But I used to work my machines hard. Clearly. So I do want to attempt to do a few things before I have to get rid of this shit or have it fucking taken away from me, because that's pretty much what it boils down to. Somebody will just come in and take it because I'm the problem. You like that, Amari? Yeah, I know you do. But you come first. We're working on Mrs. Gill's kitchen care package. And I got to get to that sewing machine, clear it off, and attempt to, what do you call it? Do these ankle braces. Yeah, because if Nana uses the sewing machine first, with that, it will last longer. Yeah. It will last longer. And we want them to last. Right? And then I feel pretty confident that what was figured out there will work out really well. Right? Nice, nice, nice. So, so nice. Do you see what I'm doing here? Can you see how I'm doing this? I can't see it. I can see it, but I can't distinguish what from what with a lot of it because of the everything merging together. I don't even think glasses could solve that problem. I don't think so. Like I said, the cataract lens should never have came out. But it's too late. giving me back $125 for a better pair of glasses was not... What? It's the thought that counts? Yeah, okay. It's the thought that counts. So I got it on my mind, ladies. Yeah. And then I just wanted to show you one other thing. Where did I put it? I lost it too. You don't want to lose that. It's one of my children's Ken dolls from back in the day. Here he is. That managed to survive. To which, honestly, you can't find them like this. You know? Because I did the Barbie doll run there with the Leia May and everything. Oops, here's this stuff yet. Come on. So weak. Alright. I'm working on 2 belly outfits. Belly dancer outfits. In my mind, I'll gather up 2 bras. I'll start with the bras. Because I'm alterating bras that I have kicking around for that purpose. I'll do a C cup and a B cup. Approximately. That will be my start. And when I get downstairs, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'd love to be able to bring up one more dressmaking form for that purpose. I might have to. I don't have to put it necessarily on a stand, assuming that my stands are even there anymore, because that bitch was throwing my shit out, and she wasn't paying attention to what she was throwing out. She was just being vindictive and spiteful. So for all I know, my stands for my dressmaking forms could be thrown out as well, which would be a real freaking drag. Well, my son's basically running around acting like nothing happened and I should just forgive and forget and move on with life. And I suppose brace myself for the next wave. Anyway. I found him. And I'm like... Because I know I bought Barbie dolls and everything, right? But I couldn't really find Barbie dolls per se, like, and just with the feel of the plastic and everything, like the foot moves. Right? You gotta watch Kyrie though. He breaks everything he comes into contact with. Look how the arm can turn itself completely, everything. Look. I want to let Leia May play with it, but I don't want it to get broken because I already gave her, right? And I've got the other one that's this is not the one that came with the wheelchair. This is one of my girls' ones. I found this somewhere else. Look. Anyway, I'm going to stick him in here. I don't want him to get broken. And there's another one kicking around. This one was when my kids were young. I'm going to put him in with the girls. All right, ladies. Don't fight over our dude. Okay? He's our dude. Keeping an eye on things. Okay. I'm sitting here transferring files over so I can upload what I was just talking about. and I'm listening to Alex Jones on BitChute, I'm aghast, people. Like, I can't believe that society is being manipulated by, well, the word that I want to use would probably be censored and considered to be hate speech in light of what's being forced down society's throat as normal behavior. Okay. So let's just watch this for a second, because the only reason that I can think that this stuff is being flaunted, okay, this is a form of flaunting. It's beyond flirting, okay? Flaunting is usually done with the intent to harm somebody that's being antagonized through the actions of flaunting, right? Okay? It's like mockery. It's like a form of mockery in a more subtle sense, where it's not so up in your face. But the only thing that I can think of is it's to derail it's to derail individual humans, right? People, whether male, female, whatever, right? With their sense of grounding towards normality when it comes to, I suppose, the greater average, when you break things up into ratios, to which the minority of abnormalities, the minority of abnormalities seems to be taking a precedence where it is psychologically, in my opinion, damaging for the healthy mind. In terms of, we got more important things to be thinking about than getting all stressed out about things that are slightly abnormal, in terms of unusual, we're not familiar with. And just because we're not familiar with it doesn't mean that we have to accept it in the manner it's being presented to us as normal. All right. So we're going to watch this for a second, because it takes a while to transfer these files over.
Yeah. Have you seen Stephanie Miller, the public defender in Seattle?
Okay.
Oh.
This is a supposed woman, because they're using a name of a woman, Stephanie. She is a public defender in Seattle. So she's in the courthouse.
Oh, well, this is one hell of a lady, Jeremy, okay? So I don't want your wife getting jealous here, all right? But here's one hell of a lady. Check out Stephanie Mueller, the public defendant in Seattle here.
Hold on a minute. You. Do you see this? This is a supposedly a public defendant in Seattle. You can even see the nipple through the dress. And I'm blind. But I can see silhouettes, though. Seattle Municipal Court.
Check on that. Yeah.
Okay. Now keep in mind, you can see better than me.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, baby.
That is a lot of woman. That is...
Hold on, it gets better.
About my client? Yeah, I just met her. She's really nice.
There that person is. Are you listening? Can you see what they've done to their lips? Which is extremely dangerous in terms of what they're injecting to get that look.
She's She's really smart. She sounds like she's got the right idea about things. I really support what she's up to, and I think it's fabulous.
You go to the courthouse, interact with this individual, and see how you walk away feeling. That is wrong, people. How do we know that's not even a robot? Huh? What do you think? Okay, so back in my day, people, individuals like this mainly kind of just minded their own business and lived their own lives and liked to go into their own environments where, I don't know, innocent children and young people and just the elderly that are uncomfortable with homosexuality and bisexuality and trisexuality and binary sexuality and any other kind of, right, old school, couples that just kind of have, a man is a man, a woman, whatever. And, if you wanted to associate and party and hang out and befriend and, share dinner with, go to the club, all right? Their clubs, their hangouts, their places to congregate and be one big happy mosh posh fucking subgroup of a group within our society where it didn't infringe and make people feel literally uncomfortable with the it's a false reality, with the false reality of something that's not legitimate trying to be made legitimate in a rude sense that insults people's integrity. Most definitely.